I'm Melby alongside Gavin Snyder here for the Carmel Greyhounds final home game of the regular season. Yes, that is correct. I'm here with Gavin tonight, who will be filling in for Xavier. So thanks for being here, Gavin.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, Brendan. We should have a very exciting matchup tonight between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Warren Central Warriors, which long history between these two teams, matchups going all the way back to 1959, and we expect another very exciting matchup in this one.
Two talented teams going head to head, but unfortunately both schools are on fall break, so the student section is lacking a little bit, but there still are a few fans showing out here ready for the big game. But until then, we're going to send it over to commercial and then send it over to Connell and Simon for your guys' pregame show. Okay.
One city, one school, one shared purpose. We are Carmel High School.
Nestled in the center of the Arts and Design District,
aren't we a little
high
close?
school students are introduced to
I can hardly hear you.
I can't hear you either. Well, I think it's because the mics are muted.
With a
Maybe it's because the mics aren't on.
Focusing on the
I don't really need to hear you though. Just
cater to each individual's educational needs. Our diverse student population can find their passion and realize their potential.
I am Carmel High School.
I am Carmel High School.
I am Carmel High School.
And with over 150 clubs, everyone can find their niche.
I am Carmel High School. I am Carmel High School. I am Carmel High School.
I am Carmel High School.
Our award-winning marching band has over 4 BOA national championships, and with over 10 choirs you can find.
Next year at IU, I'll be studying social media marketing.
Next year, I'm studying human biology at Cornell.
Next year, I'm studying Law and Society at Purdue University.
I am Carmel High School.
I am Carmel High School.
Expect Carmel to do the same again this week.
Yeah, and part of the reason that they were able to shut out the Giants was because of quarterback Anthony Colner's legs. He had 15 rushes, 74 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, through the air, he wasn't very productive with only 4 completions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. So if the Greyhounds want to get a nice win here today against the Warriors, they're going to need some more consistency out of the passing game.
Although Colner wasn't productive, like you mentioned, through the air, the running team for these Greyhounds stepped up. Johnson had 12 rushes for 53 yards, and Pemberton 15 rushes, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So even when they can't get it done through the air, they still have the ability to get it done through the ground. But this week, Johnson out with a shoulder injury. Simon, what do you have for us on that?
Yeah, Aiden Johnson got hurt in last week's game against the Ben Davis Giants, and that's not the only injury here in this game. Backup quarterback Jackson Treadway is injured, and out for the season is star safety and wide receiver Dominic Shockley. Lots of injuries affecting the Hounds.
Meanwhile, there are injuries for the Warriors as well. In Keon Thomas, the running back for the Warren Central Warriors, probably the best player on the team, has offers from multiple Power 4 schools, including IU and Arizona State University. What more do you have on him?
Yeah, he has been a star so far this year. He averages 174 yards per carry, or yards per game, so the Warriors are truly missing him.
He's only had one game where he had less than 100 yards, and that was against the Ben Davis Giants last week. But what else do you have for us on this Warren Central team?
There has been a lot of history between these two teams, and going back over to last year, Warren Central actually won the game 32-3. It was not close at all.
Yeah, Carmel lost 32-3 last year, like you mentioned, and I mean that Warren Central team was just stacked last year. There wasn't much the Greyhounds can do, especially with the weaker team last year, but this year they are new and improved, and so are the Warren Central, so I think this will be a great game between these two teams.
Yeah, and that's all the time we have today. So for this pre-game edition of CHTV, I've been Simon Kahn. Alongside me has been Connell McDonough. Let's send it to Gavin and Brendan.
Good evening, Carmel, and welcome live from Carmel Stadium in Carmel, Indiana. My name is Gavin Snyder. Joined alongside me for tonight is my color, Brendan Melby, and we are here for this matchup between the Carmel Greyhounds and the Warren Central Warriors. There's 12 minutes set on the clock, and we will see 2 of the top 15 teams in the state face off here in the final home game for the Carmel Greyhounds.
Gavin, I don't know about you, but I am excited for tonight. I mean, the Carmel Greyhounds have proven to be an unbelievable team throughout this season. After hiring head coach Kevin Wright, absolutely turned the program around, and they have a great team. Warren Central, on the other hand, also a very talented team. Lots of players with lots of offers. So, I mean, it should be an absolute shootout and a great game.
And when you talk about those offers, we have to talk about the junior defensive back, Caleb Elkins. 21 total D1 offers, which is an absolutely absurd amount for any high school player to hold. But as you can see, the teams are gathered here at midfield for the ceremonial coin toss.
Yeah, as you see, the captains for Warren Central, number 0, that's Caleb Elkins right there. You also have number 11, Jeremy Finch Jr., who has 5 offers. He's committed to Bama. Number 22, you have Dexter Smith, who averages 11 tackles per game. He's yet to get any offers that I'm aware of, though, so I'm sure they are coming for him soon, because the final captain for Warren Central was Eliza Rawlings. 8 offers and is committed to Akron. So, I mean, a good team for Warren Central. I mean, you've seen it all season from the Greyhounds, but I think this might be one of their closest games they have all season.
Absolutely. We know the Warriors, they have a very high-powered offense. Their sophomore quarterback, Jack Quillen, he already holds an offer from Toledo. In last game, he went absolutely nuclear with 6 passing touchdowns. I mean, he is a threat offensively, and the Greyhound defense might have a difficult time containing him tonight, but they have faced some pretty good quarterbacks throughout the year, including Ratliff when they played against Columbus North. So they know how to play against good quarterbacks, but the question is, can they get it done tonight?
I mean, you mentioned that Jack Quillen is a sophomore quarterback. I mean, if Warren Central doesn't have the result they want this season, I'm sure it's coming for them in the couple next seasons, because I also want to mention their wide receiver core is stacked as well, with Zachary Wallace, Keyshawn Williams, Jarrett, Mikkel Tanner. I mean, and those are all juniors, and that's their top 3 wide receivers. So Warren Central, a young team that is going to be good for the next few years. The Carmel Greyhounds, on the other hand, number 2 team in the state. They want this to be their year.
And we are about to get set for kickoff, and something interesting to note is Orahood will be kicking off for the Greyhounds. It's traditionally been Matthew Obermeyer throughout this season, and we did see him in warm-ups, so he's not injured. It just appears Kevin Wright might be trying to make a bit of a change to special teams in order to throw the Warriors off, but Orahood getting lined up here and set to kick it off. There's 12 minutes set on the clock in this cool Carmel evening between the Greyhounds and the Warriors. Players getting ready, their traditional kickoff swing. Orahood's gonna boot this one away into the end zone, and it will be a touchback, and Warren Central will start with the ball on their own 20-yard line, and we will see what quarterback Jack Quillen can do on the first drive of the game.
I'm excited to see this offense, as we talked about, but it is not going to be easy going against this Greyhounds defense. I mean, they have studs all around as well. I mean, the main player that you could talk about all night is number 1, Dane Bathurst, committed to Duke University. So he's going to be giving Quillen a lot of problems with all the pressures he typically gets.
And so they will have 2 running backs in the backfield, with one of them being Dossett. Quillen's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it up the middle to Dossett, and he is going to get stuffed and only pick up about 3 yards on the game. So call it a second and 8 for the Warriors.
As mentioned in the pregame show, their usual running back, Keon Thomas, is out for tonight, so that will certainly hurt their offense, considering he averages 147 rushing yards per game. So without him, it's going to be a little bit harder to get it done on the floor.
Quillen takes a snap, avoids the pressure. He rolls out to his left, and he's able to get it off to a target. And they say he has the first down, so a nice play there from Quillen as he's able to make something out of nothing.
Will Massey did a good job getting past the O-line, instantly gained to Quillen, but Quillen a nice little juke to avoid Massey and able to complete the play.
So it will be a 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the 31-yard line, and they will try to get something going here after that first-round pickup. Quillen in the shotgun formation.
5 wide receivers.
Takes the snap. He's going to throw it across the middle. Has a man who picks it up for a few yards. Making the reception there for the Warriors was Daryl Gates, the sophomore. Or excuse me, that's Caden Sturdivant, the sophomore.
I mean, Gavin, that was a solid job by the Greyhounds defense there. They had the Warriors had 3 wide receivers lined up on the right side and 2 on the left. So a lot of guys to cover. The Greyhounds did a solid job there.
2nd and 2 for the Warriors. Quillen here. He's going to hand it up off the middle to Dossett. And he is going to go absolutely nowhere as he's swarmed by the Greyhounds defensive line and only picks up 1 yard on the play.
Caden Bauer was the first guy that I saw get in there. He is a senior, 6'3", 260, committed to Charlotte University, so he's a big player for this Greyhounds defense as well.
So a 3rd down here for Quillen. He's going to check the sideline for the play. Not a ton of crowd noise here, but still could be a bit confused about what they want to do here on this 3rd and long. He takes the snap. He looks down the field for a receiver, and it's, broken up. Isaac Nelson with a crushing hit on Zach Williams, and he breaks up the pass. What a play from Isaac Nelson.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was ready for the Warriors to bring that ball in and get the first down on the 3rd and 7. Then Isaac Nelson was in the right spot at the right time in an absolute hit stick to force the drop.
And we will see the special teams unit for the first time tonight. From Warren Central, punting it will be the sophomore Jermaine Ellery. He's also listed as their kicker, so he might be getting a lot of action tonight. 10 minutes left here in the first quarter. Score still 0-0. As Ellery awaits the snap, he's going to take it. This is going to be a punt a little bit deep off to the left side, and the Greyhounds are going to let this one bounce out of bounds and start their first offensive drive of the game.
So now we get to see the Greyhounds offense. Their defense does their job as they typically do, forcing a quick stop and a quick punt. So now Anthony Koechel, the senior quarterback, will run out there with his offense.
This Greyhound offense a bit battered up. They're missing Dom Shockley and Aiden Johnson for this game, so we'll see how they're able to fare. But right now, Drew Pemberton, we expect him to get a lot more volume this game with the injury to Aiden Johnson.
Andrew Pemberton is a great running back as well. The backups are Josiah Gilmore and Max Knutson.
Koechel here in the shotgun here. He's going to have Pemberton in the backfield with him. Koechel takes a snap. He's going to hand it off, or he keeps it. Koechler's running to the outside. Not able to get much there as he's tackled by a swarm of Warren defenders. Only picks up 1 on the play, so call it 2nd and 9 coming up for the Greyhounds.
Koechler had a good fake handoff there. Obviously tricked us at the broadcasting this game, but did not trick the Warriors. They had a good read on that play, able to get the tackle.
2nd and 9 for the Greyhounds. Koechler here. He hands it off to Pemberton this time, who goes up the middle for a big gain there, and he's able to make this a 3rd and much more manageable as he gets tackled down at around the 45-yard line. So they will call this a 3rd down and 1, potentially 3rd and inches. Greyhounds here getting to the line very quickly. We've seen them hurry up all year. Koechler takes the snap, hands it off to Pemberton, who bounces it right, and he picks up enough for the first down and a lot more as he's tackled inside Warren Central territory.
That's what we see from the Greyhounds all the time, especially on these earlier drives. They like to move as quick as possible without huddling, as we are going to see again right now.
Koechler here, they're trying to get to the line quickly. He takes the snap. He's going to pitch it out here to Pemberton on the left. Pemberton running towards the left sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds, but not after picking up the first down.
Pemberton has been a great running back for the Greyhounds, averaging 77 rushing yards per game. I'd expect a big one out of him tonight, especially with Johnson being out.
And a bit of confusion here from the chain gain. They thought it was 2nd and 1. And we have an official timeout, so it looks like there might be some discussion here. Did they get the first down? Is it 1st and 10 or is it 2nd and 1? And we will see what the officials say here as they're currently discussing at midfield. And they will say 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds here with the ball at the 42-yard line. Koechel here, he's going to take the snap, he's going to fake the handoff, he's going to throw it for Spencer Sell, and it's incomplete, but a flag flies. That's going to be passer interference on the Warriors. They flag Jordan Adams, the senior defensive back, and it will be a 15-yard penalty for the Greyhounds.
That time, there was Josiah Gilmore in the backfield. They faked the handoff to him, and he did a good job blocking, so that's someone that we might see get a few more reps tonight as well. So we really get to see how this Greyhounds offense is going to be fluctuated a little bit with Shockley and Johnson being out.
And so after the penalty, it will be a 1st down and 10, and, oh, are they bringing this back? The refs seem to be a little bit confused here on what's going on. And it's possible they maybe called a holding instead of pass interference. They're going to set the ball down at the 32-yard line. So it appears it was a holding penalty rather than pass interference. So Greyhounds only get 10 yards instead of 15. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds, 8:45 left in the first quarter. Koechel takes a snap, gives it to Pemberton up the middle, and he gets maybe about 2 or 3 yards on the play. And the chain gain, a little confused here. They say gain of 3, so.
A lot of miscommunications here between the refs and the scoreboard and the chains. I mean, a lot going on, but this brings up a 1st down for the Greyhounds, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
And so I guess they said that was 2nd and 1 on that last play. So now the Greyhounds, it's actually 1st down for them this time. Koechel here, he takes a snap. He's going to fake the pitch to Pemberton, and he gets lit up after picking up about 2 yards on the play. We'll set up a 2nd and 8 for the Greyhounds here.
Koechel, a really good job running the ball we've seen throughout the season. He's a very mobile quarterback, but I like him doing it a little more when he's just scrambling. Those designed quarterback runs typically don't go as well.
2nd and 7 for the Greyhounds, and they caught a Warren player sleeping. It's number 99 as he just jumped offsides there. Austin Jackson, the junior, got a bit too excited on that play, and that will advance the Greyhounds forward 5 yards.
Good job by Koechel there, getting the Warriors to jump off sides, giving the Greyhounds a few more yards and few yards closer to that end zone.
So now a 2nd and 2 here for the Greyhounds with the ball at the 17-yard line. 7:42 left to play in the first. Koechel takes the snap. He's going to hand it off the middle to Pemberton, and he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain on that one.
So this will bring up a 3rd down. This is a big play for the Greyhounds if they want to get 7 out of this drive.
And we've seen Kevin Wright go for it on 4th down in these short yardage situations, so there's no telling what he's going to do if they can't pick this up. So Koechel here is going to come out here on 3rd and 2 from the 17-yard line and try to make something happen. He takes the snap, they give it to Pemberton, and Pemberton bounces it right, and he picks up the 1st down. Drew Pemberton with a nice run there to the 10-yard line.
So much trust in Pemberton. I mean, you saw him get stopped on the 2nd and 2, and they went back to the same play this time. More fortunate for the Greyhounds as Pemberton is able to get the 1st down and more.
So now under 7 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Neither team able to score yet, but the Greyhounds are currently driving with a 1st and 10. Koechel hands it off to Pemberton up the middle, and he's able to pick up about 4 yards on the play to set up a 2nd and 6 here at the 6-yard line. Greyhounds get to the line quickly. Koechel here, he's going to take the snap. He's going to pitch it left to Pemberton. He's going for the edge. Pemberton diving towards the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. And the Greyhounds strike first with a Drew Pemberton 10-yard rushing touchdown.
This is going to be an Andrew Pemberton game. I mean, we talked about it early and the pregame show. They talked about Johnson being out, and we are already seeing it take effect in Pemberton's game. I mean, so many carries that drive, so many yards, and no better way to end the drive but an Andrew Pemberton touchdown.
So now Matthew Obermeyer here lining up for the extra point for a chance to extend the lead for the Greyhounds and make it 7-0. Snap and hold are good, and Obermeyer boots it through, and the PAT is good. So the Greyhounds lead 7-0 here.
Gavin, I believe there was a little bit of a roughing the kicker there as Obermeyer went down after the kick, and then shortly after a flag was thrown.
And that could be a big mistake for Warren Central. Carmel likely will accept the penalty and enforce it on the kickoff, making it even easier for Orahood or Obermeyer, whoever they decide to take the kickoff, to boot that out of the end zone. So refs here still discussing at around the 10-yard line. And looking at Warren Central, we'll see them come out on offense once again. And Zach Williams, we almost saw him make a reception early on to extend the drive for the Warriors, but Isaac Nelson was just all over that one. And Warren Central officially has him listed as a defensive back on their depth chart. We didn't really see him out there the last drive, so we know he can play both sides of the ball. And if Warren Central gets desperate, we may see Zach Williams play some on defense as well.
Warren Central, a good team. I talked about how this is going to be one of the tougher opponents that the Greyhounds face this season. Looks like no problem for the Greyhounds to start the first quarter. So it's early, but we'll see what changes they're going to have to make.
And so the Greyhounds accept the penalty on the kick, roughing the kicker call, which will move the kickoff closer here, as it will be Obermeyer now kicking off from about midfield. So they have swapped who's doing kickoffs here on the second kickoff of the evening, as Obermeyer is set to boot this from about the 45-yard line. So this should probably go out of the end zone considering his range. We know Obermeyer has a rocket of a leg. He's a very powerful kicker.
Interesting how they're going between those two kickers, but they're both seniors, both have a good leg, so it seems to be working for the Greyhounds no matter who they use.
And Obermeyer boots this one into the end zone for a touchback, and we will see Warren Central's offense for the second time tonight, and we'll see if Jack Quillen can get anything going for them.
It's going to be an important drive for the Warriors to get something going for them early, because this is not the start that they wanted or expected.
And Carmel, they're known for getting out to hot starts. Once they score, they don't like to slow down. So if you're Warren, like you said, you have to get something going on this drive, both offensively and then on the other end, play some good defense. But Quillen's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Dossett, and he's going to go absolutely nowhere on that play, as he only picks up about 2 yards to set up a 2nd down and 8.
Good tackle there by the Greyhounds, made from his knees. I'm not sure if that was Caden Bauer or Will Massey. I know it was someone in the 50s. It was a little bunched up there, but regardless, a good tackle by the Greyhounds.
And so Warren Central here will come out with Michael Tanner, was lined up in the backfield for a second. He's moved back out wide. Quillen takes a snap. Pressure's coming. He's going to dump it off to his running back, Dossett, and he's tackled on that left side of the field by Chase Jared. And so Warren only able to pick up a few yards on that play to set up a 3rd and 6 with about 5:30 left in this first quarter.
Dossett, only a sophomore, and after the Keon Thomas injury, we're seeing him become a big asset for their offense. Gained 15 carries last game and already getting involved early tonight.
3rd and 6. Quillen takes a snap. He's going to roll to his left, throw it, and he finds Tanner downfield. Is he going to have enough for the first down? And the refs are going to mark him short 1 yard, as Tanner was unable to pick up the first down.
I would not be surprised if the Warriors want to go for it, considering it's only 4th and 1. But it appears they may be too far back on their side of the field, so they bring out their punting crew.
Yeah, it appears that first-year head coach J.T. Whitaker is just a bit too scared to try to go for it this deep in their own territory.
It would be shocking if they went for it this far back, but you see teams not get a lot of opportunities for first downs against the Carmel defense, so probably the smarter decision here, but also don't think it would have been a bad one if they decided to go for it.
And Ellery with a deep punt, as this one's going to land at the 28-yard line, and the Greyhounds will get set for their second offensive drive of the game and will look to score yet another touchdown.
The Greyhounds already putting on a show for Anthony Calhoun and the zone, because they are back out here at the Greyhound Stadium for Who Wants the Banner. Unfortunately, this is the smallest student section we have seen all year, with it being on fall break. A lot of students on vacation, so not as big of a turnout, but still a solid. I mean, this would be a solid group if it was last season, but this is a new Greyhounds team, so typically there's some more students here.
And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds here at their own 24-yard line, as Pemberton will stay in the backfield for the Greyhounds. Clark here is going to motion over to the right side. Corner here takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Pemberton, and he goes absolutely nowhere. A group effort there for Warren making the tackle.
Good tackle there by Finch. It's going to be important to stop the running game if they want to stop the Greyhounds offense, because it was almost all rushing in that first drive. So it looks like an adjustment on the first play there.
And so 2nd and 10 for the Hounds. Corner here, he's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Pemberton, who's going to bounce it to his left, and he's going to pick up a few yards and get tackled at around the 30-yard line. So it's going to set up for a 3rd and medium here. The Greyhounds get to the line very quickly. Colner takes a snap, hands it off to Pemberton again, who runs left, and he picks up just enough for the first down. So Pemberton with another first down carry, and he's been very active so far in this one.
Pemberton, some good rushes, some not as good, but he gets done what he needs to get done as another first down on a 3rd and short.
1st and 10 for Colner at the 36. He takes a snap, fakes it. He's looking downfield. Does he have someone? He throws, and it's caught. Clark makes the catch on the left side, and he's tackled out of bounds after getting past the 30-yard line. And the Greyhound passing game finally gashes the Warren defense.
Unbelievable job by Colner there. Being patient, not forcing anything in there, just rolls out to his left, bought some more time for himself, and able to find Clark downfield for the big gain. As the Greyhounds were trying to move fast, but the refs held them, and Greyhounds still not happy about it.
Yeah, I think a bit of confusion about why. Yeah. And it's clear Warren didn't call time. It actually looks like some player may be tying his shoe potentially. Not quite sure what the holdup is, but they'll finally let the Greyhounds run a play here. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Colner takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Gilmore. Gilmore breaks 3 up the middle. Gilmore's in for the touchdown. The offensive line opened up the middle for him, and he ran straight into the end zone for the touchdown.
Josiah Gilmore, are you kidding me? From the 30-yard line, he hasn't got very many varsity reps, but on his first carry of tonight, makes the most of it and scores.
And Warren, they need to lock in on the defensive end, because if this continues, this game will get out of hand very quickly, as Matthew Obermeyer here set for his 2nd extra point of the night. He's only missed 1 extra point all season when it was blocked, but in the Columbus North game. Snap and hold are good, and Obermeyer's kick is up, and he puts it through the upright. So it will be 14-0 with 2:58 left to play in the first quarter, as the Greyhounds are off to a hot start.
It has been all Carmel in this first quarter. As you see, they are fired up, running to the sideline after that PAT. As Warren Central, on the other hand, you see a lot of guys sluggish, walking to the sideline. I mean, their captain, Jeremy Finch Jr., looked very disappointed with his head down, walking to the sideline there. So they're going to need to fix their energy, as clearly something's going on with the refs right now, as he's still trying to fix his shoe, or fix whatever the problem was.
So yeah, it appears we're seeing this here on the near side of the field for us, that the referee's shoe was untied. So that's what caused the stoppage in play earlier when the Greyhounds were trying to get to the line. But might have been a blessing in disguise, as maybe Warren Central got a bit too relaxed waiting for the snap, allowing Josiah Gilmore to go straight up the middle and get in the end zone for 6.
The referee is now on his feet. It appears he has fixed the problem. Still looks a little limpish, though. Hopefully he's all right. He might have tweaked his ankle a little bit, but he's staying out there, toughing it out. So props to these refs tonight.
So Obermeyer's set to kick it off for the Greyhounds for the second time this evening. Once again, there's 2:58 left to play in this first quarter as the Hounds lead the Warriors 14-0. Obermeyer's going to kick this one. It's going to go deep off to the left, and this is going to be a touchback. And it looks like for Warren, they almost wanted to return it there as Sturdivant thought about it, but his foot was on the back line of the end zone, so they call it a touchback.
These kickers, especially Obermeyer, but we saw Orahood starting the game. I mean, they love to kick it to the back of the end zone and force a touchback, which they've done almost every kickoff this season.
So the Warriors offense out once again. Jack Quillen, 6 passing touchdowns and over 400 passing yards last week, excuse me, but he's been quiet in this one. He's going to take the snap. He's going to go deep down the field, and he's unable to find his target. Some nice coverage there from the Greyhounds as he was trying to find Keyshawn Williams, and he was unable to do so.
Risky throw there by Quillen. As you saw, Drake Koner, number 24, coming over there. I mean, if he was one step closer, he would have had a chance to intercept that ball. But fortunate incompletion maybe for the Warriors as they get a new life, which brings up 2nd and 10.
Ball on their own 20-yard line. Quillen here, he takes the snap, he fakes, he's going to throw off to his left, and he has a man in the flat who's able to pick it up for the first down. Nice reception there from the sophomore Caden Sturdivant.
This Warriors offense so deep, as he wasn't even one of the 3 wide receivers I mentioned. Him, on the other hand, is a sophomore. So how young and how deep this offense is for the Warriors. I mean, they are going to be good for these next couple of years.
Quillen here, he's going to throw it off to his left as he was trying to find his backup running back, Jeremiah Thomas, on the screen play, but the pass was behind him and sails out of bounds. So now a 2nd and 10 for the Warriors here with the ball at their 31-yard line.
It appears number 10, Grayson George, is out there for the Carmel Greyhounds. He had been injured almost this entire season after week 3, but it appears he's out there making his comeback game.
And Quillen's pass is complete on the left side. A nice reception there from Keyshawn Williams, who he was trying to find earlier this drive, and he was able to connect with him for a first down on that one.
So going back to Grayson George, I mean, he made the play of the game versus Westfield in week 2 with that interception that flipped the switch for the Greyhounds in the 3rd quarter and got them the win. So it certainly hurt them with him being out. So good thing he's back, replacing Dom Shockley, who's out for the season.
Quillen here, he's looking to his left. The pocket's collapsing. He airs it out down the field, and it's too far. He tried to find Keyshawn Williams with some busted coverage from the Greyhounds, and they did not look good on that play, and they are very fortunate that Quillen overthrew his target.
Wow, was Williams Jarrett open on that one. That's a play that Quillen typically makes, but missed it badly there. Felt the pressure from the Greyhounds D-line.
And so Quillen here will line up in the shotgun with Dawsa in the backfield with him. He takes a snap, he's gonna roll right, throw it to his right, and he completes it here over to Williams, and he is tackled here in the backfield as a gain of maybe 1 or 2 yards, call it 3 for a 3rd and 7.
That was Zachariah Wallace on the catch for that one. Williams, number 13, got the reception before that, but as you see, the Warriors using all their guys there, as it was Wallace who has offers from Miami of Ohio and Toledo.
3rd and 7 here for the Warriors. Quillen, he takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws to his left, and he completes it. And this is Tanner running down the field, and he's tackled on the left side. A huge play for Warren Central as they're able to pick up the 1st down and move into Greyhound territory.
Tanner with the reception there. He's already the 4th wide receiver this drive that has made a catch, and they just passed midfield.
And we know Warren Central loves to spread the ball around, as 3 receivers had over 100 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown in the last game. But Quillen's going to take the snap here. He's going to look to his left. He's going to throw it deep down the field, and it's caught. What a catch on the left sideline as Williams makes the play once again.
Unbelievable snag there by Keyshawn Williams, leaping over his defender and bringing that ball in. That has been the biggest play for the Warriors tonight, looking to put points on the board for the first time.
And now it is a 1st and goal for Warren from the Carmel 8-yard line as they're threatening to score here as the first quarter is ticking down. Quillen looks to his right, throws right end zone, and that pass is just a bit too far as he overthrows his intended target.
That was Zachariah Wallace on the target. That is typically Quillen's go-to man in the red zone as he leads their team in receiving touchdowns with 7. And after that, it's Williams with 3. So, I mean, you see him throw it over to Wallace a lot in the red zone.
So 2nd and goal from the 8. Quillen takes it, rolls to his right, and he's sacked. Making the play for the Greyhounds is Drew Jones as he tripped him up in the backfield and brings him down for the sack.
Great play there by Drew Jones. I mean, he doesn't even start most of the games. So taking advantage of his opportunities, the junior Drew Jones getting in there and making the big play, forcing a 3rd and 18.
And a huge sack there for a loss of 10. And Warren still has to run a play here, even though there's under 30 seconds in the quarter. Quillen takes a snap, looks for the back right corner of the end zone, and it's broken up by the Greyhound defense. Fantastic effort from Aiden Dickerson as he breaks up the pass.
Drake Kohner was in there as well, who is the sophomore that has 6 different offers only as a sophomore, which is unbelievable to see. The offers include Vanderbilt, Duke, Wake Forest, Texas A&M, Liberty, and Troy.
And wait a minute. Warren's offense is staying out here on 4th and goal from the 18.
Wow.
Quillen takes the snap. He's going to run up the middle, finds his target, and it's broken up. Incomplete as Chase Jared with the pass breakup.
Interesting decision there by the Warriors. JT Whitaker having his team go for it on 4th and 18. Oh my, Gavin. Trying to catch the Greyhounds off guard, but it was unsuccessful as that was batted away. As you said, Chase Jared there.
And so now the Greyhound offense is out here with 17.8 seconds left in the first quarter, and Warren Central either does not trust their kicking game with Ellery, or they thought they could catch the Greyhounds napping, but Kevin Wright was ready for that one, so a 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds here from their own 18. Kohner here, he's going to throw it to his right, and it's incomplete as he was unable to connect with Jake Bellin.
Gavin, what does Bellin have to do to get it off her? I mean, not a good time to bring it up after an incomplete pass, but you see majority of the time Koechel looks and throws his way. He brings that ball down and has been leading this Greyhounds receiving corps. So he's a senior. I mean, I'd expect some offers to start falling at some point.
And the Greyhounds once again catch the Warriors off guards for an offside penalty, and it will set up a 2nd and 5 here. You mentioned Jake Bellin earlier. He's had a very solid season for the Greyhounds with over 400 receiving yards so far and a handful of touchdowns. 2nd and 5 for the Greyhounds. Koechel, the snap count almost gets Finch to jump on that one, but he does not jump, and Koechel will look to the sideline to see if a new play is called by Coach Kevin Wright. Koechel here. He's going to fake the handoff. He keeps it himself, and he's running free on the right sideline. He's tackled down after a nice gain there, and it will be enough for a Carmel first down.
Anthony Koechel making me eat my words after I mentioned the design quarterback runs don't typically work as well. Well, there was a good one for you folks, as that brings up a first down, 1st and 10, as the first quarter comes to an end. The Greyhounds lead 14-0.
And 14-0, like you said, for the Greyhounds. And Warren, a very questionable decision on their last drive as they tried to go for it on 4th and 18. And it looked like he may have had a receiver for a second, but like we said, Chase Jared just gets his hand in there and bats that one away. And a huge momentum shifter, because the Greyhounds, they already had a huge lead, and then they get a massive stop there on 4th and long.
That was a huge drive there from both teams, because that was the best drive that we'd seen from Warren Central by a long shot, getting all the way down to the 8-yard line and then losing 10 yards, then proceeding to go for it on 4th and 18, then batted away by Chase Jared, which was the biggest play for the Greyhounds first quarter, because I don't think the Greyhounds will have any problem putting points up on the board, which we have seen already in this first quarter. But good job there by the defense, holding the Warriors to 0 points despite the good start to the drive.
And so the Greyhounds come out here with the ball on the 30-yard line for 1st and 10 as we start the second quarter of action here from Carmel Stadium. Koechler's going to motion Clark over to his left. Koechler takes a snap. He's going to hand it off to Pemberton up the middle, and he's not going to get much there. They say a gain of about 2 yards to set up a 2nd and 8 from the Greyhound 32. And Coach Kevin Wright used to coach at Warren Central as he led them to 3 straight state championships from 2003 to 2005. So he has a history with this team, and he's been reading them like a book tonight. Koechler takes a snap. He tosses it left to Pemberton, who's looking for that outside edge. Pemberton's running down the left sideline, and he's brought down inside Warren territory. Andrew Pemberton with another explosive run.
Drew Pemberton have a night. Unbelievable job from him so far, as he is taking full control of this game.
1st and 10 for the Greyhounds from the 42-yard line. Koechler here, he's going to take the snap, hands it off. Up the middle, Josiah Gilmore, and he gets almost to that 30-yard line for another Greyhound first down.
It's going to be so hard tonight for the Warriors to stop the Greyhounds run game when you have so many guys that could do it just as well as one another.
Koechler, he takes the snap. He's going to hand it off up to Gilmore, who breaks 3 up the middle. He's still on his feet, and he stumbles his way inside the 10-yard line. Josiah Gilmore, Drew Pemberton, it doesn't matter. Warren Central cannot stop this run game right now.
Gilmore does a very good job of finding the tight hole up the middle, and then when he sees it, he hits it and explodes, which is what we have seen from majority of his runs tonight, just exploding up the middle.
And that run might have been a bit too good to be true, as a flag was thrown on the play, and they call a holding on the Greyhounds, so they will be moving back. So blocks were just a bit too good on that play, which allowed Gilmore to break free. So now a 1st and 20 for the Greyhounds from the 41-yard line.
It's going to be easier to get a better run when your O-line is holding a defender back. So I believe the refs got the right call there, which is unfortunate for the Greyhounds because that big run will now turn into a 1st and 20 at the 41-yard line.
Koechler's going to dump it off on his right for Carson Clark, and he's brought down. An explosive tackle made by Jelani Reed, the Warren Central defensive back. He has 3 picks so far on the season.
Wow. Helicopter tackle there by Reed. As you mentioned, 3 interceptions on the season, but he could tackle too, as we saw right there. A good tackle for a loss of 2 yards.
Koechler on 2nd and 22. He's looking deep down the field, but he has nobody. He's rolling back to his left. He's trying to escape, and he's just going to throw this one away. Jake Bellin wanted a pass interference penalty, and that play just took a bit too long to develop, so Koechler had to throw it away.
There was a lot of players rushing Koechler on that play, and it's a lot tougher when he's also trying to dodge the ref, as you watch him run to the right side, go behind the ref, go in front of the ref, bumped by the referee a few times to the point where he just had to throw it away.
And so it is a 3rd and 22 for the Greyhounds. They've got a long way to go with the ball on the 43-yard line. We will see if they're able to get anything going here. And so Koechler will bring his offense out. 10 minutes and 18 seconds left to play here in this first half. Koechler here, he's going to need to get somewhat of a miracle to pick up this first. He's going to motion Pemberton. He's going to look for Jake Bellin on a curl route. Jake Bellin breaks the tackle, moving up the field, and he gets tackled down at about the 30-yard line. So he would have got to about the original line of scrimmage there, but it's still going to be 4th and long. But the Greyhounds here hurrying it up to the line on 4th and 11. And Kevin Wright's been very aggressive, and they do go for it. Koechler fakes the handoff. He's looking left. He's going to throw it deep down the field, and it's hauled in. Spencer Sell makes the catch, and an error from Warren Central as Reed tried to go for the pick. He drops the ball, and it falls right into the hands of Spencer Sell.
Big-time players make big-time plays, as Spencer Sell has had a major role in this Greyhounds offense. So you see him with the big reception there on 4th and 11.
1st and 10 for the Greyhounds from the 11. And that's a false start on the Greyhounds. Looks like some miscommunication there on the snap count. We saw Spencer Sell and multiple other Greyhounds just run a bit too early on that one.
Both these teams playing like there are 5 downs, with the Warriors going for it on 4th and 18, and now the Greyhounds on 4th and 11. Gutsy plays from both coaches. Worked out for the Greyhounds both times.
And for the Greyhounds, we know Matthew Obermeyer is a very capable kicker with a lawn of 47 on the season. But Wright must have thought it was a bit too deep on that possession. He's going to toss it to Pemberton on the right side. He has some blocks as he gets to the outside. Pemberton, and he looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the end zone, as a lot of collision here near that right corner. And they give it to Gilmore up the middle, and Gilmore powers his way forward for another Greyhound rushing touchdown. Josiah Gilmore rushing touchdown number 2 on the night, and the Greyhounds lead 20-0.
Carmel Greyhounds, 3 touchdowns, all 3 of them being rushing. The Warren Central Warriors are going to need to make a change, especially stopping this Greyhounds rush game, because it has taken full control of the game.
Matthew Obermeyer here set for his 3rd PAT of the evening. Snap is a little bad, but the holder gets it set, and Obermeyer boots it through for the extra point, and the Greyhounds lead 21-0, as you can see, with 9:40 left to play in the first half. And Josiah Gilmore has really exploded in this game due to the Aiden Johnson injury.
You can just see these players making the most of their moments. As I mentioned, Drew Jones with a sack and Josiah Gilmore already 2 touchdowns. We've seen him get in the game earlier this season, but that's typically in the blowouts when the Greyhounds have been up 30, 40, even almost 50 points. But as you see him almost splitting carries with Pemberton tonight, he has done a great job for the Greyhounds.
And so the Greyhounds will trot out back on the field for yet another kickoff. Defense has held strong so far, and they had a fantastic performance last week as they were able to shut out the Ben Davis Giants for the first time since 1983.
This Greyhounds defense is unbelievable. Teams have a very tough time putting points up against them, as we see Warren Central, who is an offense-heavy team, has 0 points with only 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half.
And so Obermeyer here set to boot this one away for the Greyhounds. And Warren Central, this is a big drive for them. They really need to get something going. Obermeyer here, he's going to boot this one away deep, and it will be received here on the far side of the field. But the Greyhound defense is able to swarm the returner as he's not able to pick up that much on the return. And so we have 9 minutes and 36 seconds left to play here in the first half as the Greyhounds lead 21-0. And we will see Quillen and that Warriors offense come out once again and try to get something going offensively.
Quillen had a promising drive in the previous one. They still ended up with 0 points. So we'll see if they get a similar drive going here and maybe score on this one.
Quillen hands it off to Dawson, who breaks a tackle, and he's streaking down the right sideline, but a big hit from Isaac Nelson to send him out of bounds, but Dawson picks up enough to get that first down for the Warriors.
We are starting to see the Warriors pick up some momentum offensively. If they are able to score on this drive, all they need is the defense to make up for the damage that has already been caused by the Greyhounds offense.
1st and 10 from the 49. Quillen takes a snap. He's going to throw to his left, and it is almost caught, but the pass is going to be broken up by Aaron Fedorcha and incomplete, as Warren almost had a huge play on that one.
Wallace tipping that up in his right hand, was thinking he was going to bring that one down until it was batted away by Fedorcha as he gives a little finger wag for the rejection.
9:14 left to play here in the first half as the Greyhounds still lead 21-0. Quillen, he's going to motion Tanner to his right. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Dawson again, who's trying to power his way up the middle, but the Greyhounds stuff him after he picks up a medium-sized gain, and it will set up a 3rd and 4 here for the Warriors.
Already an early 3rd down. Greyhounds trying to force yet another punt.
And refs here trying to figure out where to spot the ball, but they're finally able to get it figured out. And for the Warriors, we saw them be very aggressive on the last drive, so if they don't pick this one up, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for it again.
No doubt, Gavin. If they're unable to get the first down here, I could almost guarantee that they will go for it.
Quillen throws it to Williams, who makes the reception on the curl route, and the referee says he's going to be short by about 1 yard, so a 4th and 1 for the Warriors. And like you said, they're most definitely going for this one.
That was very close to the first down, in my opinion, Gavin. I think maybe an unfortunate spotting for the Warriors. So we'll see what happens with them being marked 1 yard short of the first down.
And the Warriors are going to get their heavier set out here. And it looks like they might just be trying to punch this one up the middle here on 4th and short. We know Dossett very big at 220 in that backfield. And unfortunately for the Greyhounds, they jump off sides. It was Dane Bathurst who got a bit too excited on that one. And so Warren will now have a 1st down and 10.
Dane Bathurst is typically better than that, but he has been quiet tonight with the matchup versus Rollins, who received 8 offers and committed to Akron, as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast. So Bathurst is going to have to figure out his matchup, as Rollins is giving him a tough time.
1st and 10, 7:42 left in the half. Quillen takes the snap. He throws it to the right, looking to find Zach Williams, and a bit of miscommunication as Williams just turned around too late there, and some nice coverage from Aaron Fedorcha. Excuse me, that was Zach Wallace. I keep getting him mixed up with Keyshawn Williams, and both have been a very dynamic duo for the Warriors this season.
So many guys that Quillen looks to throw to, so many names to remember, because the wide receivers and targets that Quillen likes to go to is limitless.
And so 7:38 left in the half. Quillen throws it, and that pass incomplete as he was trying to find Tanner on a little hitch route, and he was unable to find him there.
Not entirely sure that was to Tanner. Some form of a miscommunication there, because that ball landed in open field.
And maybe it's time to work on some team chemistry in practice, because Quillen has not looked on the same page as some of his receivers tonight with these passes.
He's going to have to figure it out soon, if not this play, because it is a big 3rd down, 3rd and 10.
Quillen here, he's looking down the field, rolling out to the right, and he's sacked. Brought down by Drew Jones for the 2nd time tonight.
Drew Jones coming out of nowhere from the backside. I mean, it looked like a lion chasing a gazelle as he came out, Quillen hot.
And that is the 2nd sack of the night, but not good news for the Greyhounds. It looks like Bathurst just limping off to the sideline. Not good news to see the 3-star Duke commit being a little banged up out there. So for the Greyhounds, they're hoping he can return. But for now, it's 4th and 18 for the Warriors, and this time they will be punting the ball.
Like the 4th and 18 we saw last time, this time they are a little bit further back, so they will decide to punt it.
And they could potentially get a delay of game here as the play clock winds down, but they get the punt off, and this one is deep. And, oh no, it touched a Carmel player. There's a scramble for the ball. Who has it? It looks like Carpenter is able to recover his own muff.
Maybe. Wow, they give it to the Greyhounds.
And they say Aleem Broadnax is able to recover the fumble after the ball bounces off of him while he's trying to block a Warren player.
Not how the Greyhounds drew that return up, but ironically, that was probably a better return than they would have got if it touched nobody.
And so a 1st and 10 for the Hounds. They lead 21-0. Ball at their own 17-yard line with 6 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first half. They'll have Pemberton out there in the backfield. He's been very successful tonight with some big plays that have led to 1st down yardage. Koechel here. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Pemberton up the middle, and that time he's not able to go anywhere as the offensive line just was unable to open up for him. The Greyhounds here are going to try to get to the line very quickly. That hurry-up offense has been Kevin Wright's signature so far this season. So they will have the same set out there, as it will be Koechel and Pemberton in the backfield once again. 6 minutes left. Koechel takes a snap. He hands it off to Pemberton again, and almost looked like the exact same play there, as it's only able to pick up a few yards to set up a 3rd down and 6.
Greyhounds utilizing the run game still. Why not use it until the Warriors make an adjustment? This time a little better on those first 2 plays of the drive. So this will bring up a 3rd and 6. Interesting what Koechel is going to do here.
5:30 left in the first half. Koechel on 3rd and 6. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to look deep down the field for Jake Bellin, and the pass was too far. He had Bellin streaking wide open, and he just overthrew him by a hair.
Could have Koechel made a better pass? Yes. Should have Jake Bellin caught that ball? Also, yes. I mean, that hit both of Bellin's hands, and we see Bellin make incredibly hard catches throughout this entire year. It's not his night tonight, or at least not his half, as this will be the first time the Greyhounds have gotten stopped tonight.
And so we will see Matthew Obermeyer out here for the Greyhounds for the first punt of the game with 5:23 left in the first half on a 4th and 6. A low snap, but Obermeyer's able to field it, and he boots it way down the sideline. And it's fielded by Zach Wallace, and a handful of Greyhound players are able to make the tackle there, with Aaron Fedorcha leading the charge.
We see this Greyhounds team have almost no flaws. We talked about their defense, holding teams to 0 points, as Warren Central still has 0 points as of right now. Their offense, so good. Rush game, so good. The depth, so good. And their special teams doing their job when they need to.
And the Greyhounds have not needed their special teams unit this much this year, because the offense has just been so dominant, but not able to get it done that drive. So we will see if Quillen can respond after his defense gets their first stop of the game. He takes the snap on 1st and 10, rolls to his right, he hucks it down the field, and he has Keyshawn Williams for the touchdown, and the Warriors strike and score for the first time this evening.
What a play by Warren Central on the first play of the drive. Quillen made that throw while getting hit by Dane Bathurst as well. I'm not sure if you catch that. That was the best pressure that Bathurst has gotten tonight, but no problem for Quillen as he makes a dot to Keyshawn Williams-Jarrett, who is able to get the touchdown.
And Quillen had a fantastic game last week with 429 passing yards and 6 passing touchdowns on a 65% completion rate. And we were wondering, will he get active in this game? And he finally does there, as the Warriors finally strike, and they will have Ellery here take the extra point, and he will put it through the middle of the uprights to make it 21-7 with 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half. Greyhounds still on top of this one.
Ellery standing at 5'8", 205 pounds. An interesting build for a kicker, but he has done a solid job for the Warriors.
Yeah, and Ellery, like you said, a very interesting build, and it's possible we could see him out there in some defensive looks as well, especially on 4th and short situations. So keep an eye out for him later in this game. But for right now, the Greyhound offense, a little bit of a slip on that last drive as they're unable to get something done. And Warren answers right back with that deep touchdown to Keyshawn Williams as he gets into the end zone for the first time tonight.
Whatever adjustment the Warriors made just recently, it has been working for them as they got their first stop and then their first score only one play after. So yeah, 5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. We will see how both teams try to finish and capitalize going into halftime.
And so Ellery will trot out here for the first Warren kickoff of the evening. And they've got 5 minutes and 7 seconds left. If they're able to stop the Greyhounds, they could get the ball back and score another touchdown to make it a one-possession game. But until then, they've really got to lock in on the defensive end and make sure they stop Carmel again, because that last drive could have been a fluke. But here's the kickoff from Ellery. It's a short kick, and it's fielded on the left side. by Nelson, and he is tackled there around midfield as he's not able to gain much on that swib kick.
I believe that was maybe Ryan Williams, the junior tight end, on that one. A heads-up play by him. He's typically only rolls out there on special teams. So again, we talk about the players making plays when they get the opportunities. So that might be Wilson's biggest play of this season.
And here comes Anthony Koechel and the Greyhound offense. They've got 5 minutes and 1 second to work with on this offensive drive as they start from the 41-yard line on 1st and 10. Koechel, he's going to pitch it off to his right to Josiah Gilmore, who's looking for the edge, and he has some room to run before he's shoved out of bounds. A nice gain there from Josiah Gilmore.
Good job by Gilmore to continue to work the outside until he had some time to run forward as tossed the ball to the ref, who was not ready for that one.
Well, there's a reason Josiah Gilmore not playing quarterback for the Greyhounds right there, but man, he has been efficient running the ball tonight as he's still out there on 2nd and 5 from the 46. Koechel here trying to catch them off guard with a snap count, but Warren Central has learned their lesson and they are not jumping early. 4:54 left in the first half. Koechel takes a snap. He's going to hand this one off up the middle to Gilmore, who loses his shoe after falling past the 50-yard line, and he is going to have enough for a first down.
That's the first time we've seen that this season, as Gilmore lost his shoe, so had to quickly run to the sideline. Pemberton replaces him, which will not be a problem for the Greyhounds, since Pemberton is just as good, probably better, being the main guy for the Greyhounds.
And Drew Pemberton originally played 1 year at Carmel, transferred to Lawrence Central, and then back to Carmel. Greyhounds play Lawrence Central next week, so that will definitely be a revenge game for him. And Warren gets caught jumping off sides, as unfortunately for them, it was number 54 that jumped off sides for them, and that will be a 5-yard penalty in favor of the Greyhounds.
Greyhounds moving a little bit closer into scoring territory, as there's 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in this first half.
So after Dominique Stone jumps off sides, it will be a 1st and 5 for the Greyhounds here from the 44-yard line inside Warren territory. Koechel here checking the sideline for the play. Talking to his O-line. Looks like Koechel might be pulling a bit of an audible here as Drew Pemberton a little confused about where he needs to be on the field. Koechler's going to hand it off up the middle to Pemberton, and he has some room downfield. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's shoved. Is he in? Oh, waiting the signal. And they say he's in for the touchdown. Or no, they're going to say he's short.
We had a tough angle on that one, but the referee marks him at the 1-yard line. But regardless, a big run by Pemberton as the Greyhounds line up quickly at the 1-yard line.
Greyhounds get to the line quickly. They hand it up to Pemberton, and he runs untouched up the middle for another Greyhound touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns for Pemberton and Gilmore now as the Greyhounds extend their lead 27-7 with 4 minutes and 13 seconds left in this first half of action.
Despite Pemberton being marked short on that big run, he is still rewarded with the touchdown as they went right back to him for the one-yard running touchdown.
Obermeyer here for another extra point for the Carmel Greyhounds. Snap and hold are good, and he is able to boot that one through and bounces it off the scoreboard once again to extend this lead 28-7 with 4:13 left to play in the first half. And Warren Central's defense, they got to stop 2 possessions ago, but this time the Greyhounds were able to punch it in for 6.
Another solid job by the Greyhounds on that drive, getting 7 points on that one after the PAT, which, as you mentioned, Gavin, hit the scoreboard. How many hits is that scoreboard going to take this season? We see the kickers. It's almost like they're aiming for it because it is right up the uprights.
And we know Obermeyer, a very powerful kicker, as some say he might be the best kicker in the entire state. It's a bit of a dispute, but he is undoubtedly pretty talented when it comes to long-range field goals with precision accuracy. A lawn of 47 on the year, and he's set here for another Greyhound kickoff as he receives the K ball from the ref, and he's ready to boot this one away here. And for Warren Central, we know they don't love to run the ball, but with how we've seen Jonathan Doucette do so far in this one, they might want to give him some more carries out there.
Absolutely. Warren Central finally got their first touchdown in the last drive, their first time scoring, matter of fact, in this game, but instantly gave it right back up.
Obermeyer's kick is deep to the right side, but it's going to be fielded on the right side, and a swarm of Greyhound players is able to bring the Warren returner down here, and so they're not able to pick up many yards here, and so it will set up a first down and 10 for the Warren offense with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left to play from their own 29-yard line.
We'll see what the Warriors are able to do with only 4 minutes remaining in the first half. But I will say their main problem tonight has been getting into scoring territory, period.
And so the refs here preventing both teams from getting set. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but they will blow the whistle and we will resume play here at Carmel High School. Quillen takes the snap. He's getting pressured. He's going to hunk it deep down, and it's intercepted. Drake Koner picks it off for the Greyhounds. Quillen trying to test the Carmel secondary again, and Drake Koner is not fooled.
Koner in the right spot at the right time as Quillen took a shot on that one. Koner able to field it like a pop fly as he sat under the ball, brought it down. And this will now give the Greyhounds a whole drive with 4 minutes remaining.
And Quillen is known for being a pretty accurate QB, only 2 picks heading into this game, but a very risky throw there results in pick number 3 for him on the season, and the Greyhound offense here trots back out with 3:57 left in the half with a 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
Warriors
Koner
typically leading. We see Quillen start to panic when he's down, making some more risky throws.
And Gilmore not going to pick up much on that play. Call it a gain of about 1 or 2 yards maybe, and it will set up a 2nd and 9 for the Greyhounds. Clock still ticking as it approaches 3 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half.
Good tackle there by Finch. There's a reason he is committed to Alabama.
Koner's going to take the snap, fake the pitch here, and run it up the middle, but Warren was not fooled by that one as they stuff him for a gain of 1 to set up a 3rd and 8 for Carmel.
That time, it was number 22, Dexter Smith, who leads the team in tackles with 11 tackles per game.
3:10 left in the first half. It's 3rd and 8 for the Greyhounds from the 33-yard line. Koner checking the sideline for the play. Now under 3 minutes left to play in this first half. Greyhounds lead 28-7. Koner takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, and that pass is batted away. A nice play there from Warren's defender, Sean Fox, who has multiple D1 offers, and he wanted to pick on that one, but he was unable to get it.
Sean Fox, a good play. As you mentioned, 4 offers. Those are from Toledo, Purdue, Minnesota, and Bowling Green, and he's only a junior, so I'd expect some more offers come in, especially if he's making those kinds of plays.
And so Warren able to stop the Hounds offense for the 2nd time tonight. It's 4th and 8, and Obermeyer will be punting this one with 2:49 left in the first half. He gets this punt away, a little bit of a wobbler as it bounces off to the left sideline, but it keeps rolling inside the 30-yard line, and it is finally picked up there by Aaron Fedorcha at the 28-yard line.
Two quick drives there from the Warriors, and then the Greyhounds as the time continues to tick, bringing up 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining as the Warren Central Warriors will roll their offense out there.
And so for the Warriors, their pass game has been hit and miss. We saw the passing touchdown to Keyshawn Williams early on, but then on the last drive, as Quillen was trying to look down the field, he got absolutely lurked by Drake Koellner for an interception. So we'll see if Quillen will keep firing deep down the field on this drive, as he only has 2:39 to work with from the 28-yard line. He's going to hand it off to Dossett, and he gets swallowed up after a minimal gain, and making the tackle there was reliable Will Massey.
Good tackle there by Massey. I mean, we see this stacked defense on the D-line, and then Drake Koellner out there in safety with Isaac Nelson, who is committed to Wake Forest. So we saw Koellner make the big play on the last drive, but it's also going to be tough to throw to the right side of the field for Quillen with the secondary over there.
He's going to throw it to the right side of the field instead, as he was trying to find Zach Wallace there, but the pass was just too high on that one, so it sets up a 3rd and 7 for the Warriors as we are inside 2 minutes in this first half, as there is 1:59 left to play as the Greyhounds still lead 28-7.
Fedorcha with the coverage on that one. He's been getting a lot of playing time tonight. We saw him mostly on special teams at the start of the season, but he's been in almost all of tonight.
And so Quillen here on 3rd and 7. He's going to take the snap. He's going to roll to his right, looking for someone down the field as he tried to find Wallace once again, but some nice coverage from the Greyhound defense forces 4th down.
You see Bathurst celebrating with Caden Bauer after they do their job pressuring the quarterback and forcing a punt.
And so we will see Ellery out to punt once again for Warren. And could they fake one of these punts if they start getting desperate? You never know in high school football. Ellery here, he's going to take this punt and boot it. It's a deep punt off to the right sideline, as this is a deep punt that's rolling almost inside the 10-yard line, and not sure what exactly happened, as for the Warriors, Darian Ford, the junior, picked that ball up a little early. It might have been able to roll even deeper into Carmel territory.
Why did he pick that one up, Gavin? That ball was going to that ball was rolling at not a rapid pace, but certainly 5 to 10 more yards.
And so a questionable decision from junior defensive back Darian Ford gives the Greyhounds slightly more breathing room, as the ball is at the 12-yard line instead of possibly the 2. And we saw the Greyhounds put Ben Davis in a bad position last week that led to a safety. So they're fortunate they might not face that on this drive, but they've got 1 minute and 42 seconds to see if they can go 88 yards for a scoring drive. Koellner here, he's going to keep it. Koellner has some blocks as he's running up the right side, and he's able to get this ball forward, and the ball came out. Koellner saying he was down, waiting for a call from the refs officially.
This is a big call incoming. It appears they are going to keep it for the Greyhounds. Koellner lucky there to still have possession of the ball.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line with 1:36 left in the first half. The clock is running and the Greyhounds got to get moving. Koellner here, he's going to look to his left. He's going to throw it deep down the field, and he has Carson Clark wide open. Clark down the left side, 20, 10, 5, and Carson Clark is in for the touchdown.
Carson Clark was wide open over the middle of the field, able to make the grab, stumbled a little bit, regained his balance, and ran it the rest of the way in for the touchdown.
And some nice running from Carson Clark as he ran a simple but effective post route there to get wide open. And he takes it all the way for the house. A 74-yard receiving touchdown for number 23.
That one was fun to watch. The first receiving touchdown for the Greyhounds tonight. They finally got that big passing play that they were waiting for.
And Obermeyer sinks this extra point. Not able to hit the scoreboard this time, but he extends the Greyhound lead 35-7 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the first half. So for the Warriors, this is probably their last drive they're going to have a chance to score before the end of the half.
Yeah, we continue to approach halftime as both teams have gotten in quite a bit of drive zone this final 5 minutes.
And for the Greyhounds, the rushing attack has been lethal so far. So if you look at that last drive, the fact the Greyhound rushing game was such a threat opens up that passing game for Anthony Koellner. Carson Clark finds a soft spot in the defense, and he takes that one all the way for the touchdown. And I half wonder what happens if Darian Ford doesn't let that ball bounce, and if he doesn't pick it up early and he lets it bounce. Very interesting there.
Regardless, the Greyhounds had the whole field to work with on that completion. But you do make a solid point. I mean, if the Greyhounds are pinned at the 1 yard line, that would make a big difference. Instead, the Greyhounds wasted no time getting a big touchdown.
And we see Kevin right here on the sidelines trying to get the Greyhound faithful hyped up for the last minute and 20 seconds of this first half, as Matthew Obermeyer and co. is set to send this one away back to the Warriors. Obermeyer's kick is off to the left side and pretty deep. It won't reach. Oh, and the punt, it's muffed by Warren Central, but they're able to pick it up, and almost a costly mistake from Caden Sturdivant. But fortunately, he picks it up after the muff. But a bad return there as they will start from their own 19-yard line.
Oh, a close call there for the Warriors. As you said, he muffed that punt, able to regain possession of it, but this has not been the half that the Warriors have wanted.
So Warren Central's offense comes out once again here with likely their last offensive drive of the first half, as there's 1:16 left to play. They trail 7-35, and they have the ball on their own 19-yard line. We will see if Quillen can get anything going for the Warriors here. High snap, he's going to hand it off to Dossett, who bounces off of a player, but he's brought down in the backfield. Drew Jones and Aiden Dickerson combining for the TFL.
This has been almost all Greyhounds in the first half. We saw a couple promising drives by the Warriors, but otherwise there has not been a lot going for them.
And Warren is going to call their first timeout of the half here. They still have 2 left with 1 minute to go here as they trail 7-35, and they have the ball on their own 14-yard line on 2nd and 15.
Warriors not giving up on the drive after losing 5 yards on that first play. As you said, they used the timeout to stop the clock. So we'll see if they will be able to get into scoring position with only 60 seconds remaining, as well as 2 timeouts.
And an interesting thing to note is the Greyhounds have had 4 games this season and on a mercy rule running clock, which is a school record. And with how this game has gone so far, we could see the running clock once again if the Greyhounds continue to pile on these points.
The Greyhounds are certainly on track for it, but I wouldn't go quite there yet because the Warriors have a talented team with a few adjustments. I think that they may be able to make a change.
And so Warren Central comes out here for a 2nd and 15 from their own 14-yard line with 1 minute to work with, trying to put some points up before half. Quillen takes the snap. He's going to throw it off and out of bounds as he threw it away. He felt the pressure coming from the Greyhound defensive line, and it will be a 3rd and 15 with less than 1 minute left to go in this first half.
Sticky situation here for the Warriors after using their first timeout. If they are unable to convert this one, they give the Greyhounds the ball back. With still some time to go.
We could see the Greyhounds drive down the field if they get a stop here and score again. But for now, it's 3rd and 15. Quillen, he feels the pressure coming. He rolls out. He throws it down the field, and it is going to be caught. A nice play from Zach Wallace.
Wow, well, a big play there on 3rd and 15. But it is going to be taken back because of a flag. So the Greyhounds, a break there because that was a big play for the Warriors that will not count.
And that is so unfortunate for the Warriors. Definitely has to take a hit out of their morale there. You get a big play, but it comes back for a penalty. So I believe it will be a 3rd and 25, or they say half the distance to the goal. So we will see exactly where they spot it. They will call it 3rd and 22 from the 7-yard line. There's 48 seconds left, so if the Greyhounds get a stop here, they can call timeout and potentially score again.
Going to be tough to convert this one, but Quillen is not afraid to take those shots.
Quillen here, he's rolling to his right. The pressure's coming. He throws it, and he tries to find his target on the right sideline, but it's incomplete, and it will set up a Warriors punt here with 42 seconds left in the first half. Greyhounds still have all 3 of their timeouts.
The Greyhounds, or I'm sorry, the Warriors are going to be punting from the back of the end zone and giving the ball to the Greyhounds. So I don't think Carmel's done yet in this half.
And we could see the Greyhounds block a punt here, especially in these situations where teams are near the goal line. They might feel inclined to send extra pressure. At the same time, you don't want to rough the kicker and give them 15 free yards. Ellery from the back of his own end zone is going to boot this away with no block. Bellin is going to fair catch this one at around the 42-yard line. So call it about a 30 to 40-ish yard punt from Ellery. And the Greyhounds here have 42 yards in front of them and 35.9 seconds to see. Can they do anything? But wait a minute. There's a flag down here near midfield. And we will see, could this be a blocking penalty on the Greyhounds?
I'm unsure what the penalty is as the ref picks it up. So we're going to have to wait for the final decision, but it appears there was a hold on the receiving team. The receiving team, the Carmel Greyhounds, are going to move backwards after that punt to their own 48-yard line. So a 10-yard penalty.
And could be costly for the Greyhounds. We know Obermeyer has range, though, so if they can get to about the 35-yard line, they realistically are in his field goal range and have a chance to put some points through the uprights before the end of the half. But for now, 35.9 seconds. 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Here comes the Carmel Greyhound offense and Anthony Koner to see if they can put some more points up before the end of this first half.
I know it's only 36 seconds left, but I'd like to see Jake Bellin get involved here as he has been quiet tonight for the typical star he usually is.
Koner here in the shotgun. He's going to hand this one off to Pemberton, who goes up the middle for a short gain. And Kevin Wright, no timeout yet as the Greyhounds hurry to the line here on 2nd and 6. Clock still ticking. Koner takes a snap. He feels the pressure. He's going to throw it off to the left side for an open Spencer Sell, who makes a man miss, and he gets tackled near the sideline.
Sell needs to get out of bounds on that one, for I believe he was tackled inbounds trying to work up the middle.
And like you said, he doesn't get out of bounds, so Kevin Wright is going to call his first timeout of the game. But with the ball at the 33-yard line, the Greyhounds probably are close to field goal range here and could definitely get some points before the end of the half. But only 12.5 seconds to work with, so you don't want to spend too much time on any particular play.
Interesting decision there by Sell to try to work up the middle. I think he regretted it once he started because he started to go towards the sideline, but a good job by the Warriors knowing that they had to keep him inbounds to force a Greyhounds timeout.
And a great start this first half for the Greyhounds. Looking over their drive summaries, they've had 2 punts, but the rest have ended in touchdowns, with Josiah Gilmore and Andrew Pemberton both having 2 rushing touchdowns, and then Anthony Colner finding Carson Clark for a 74-yard receiving touchdown on another drive. But 12.5 seconds and 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds from the 33. They lead 35-7 here in this first half as they're trying to get 3 or more points before the end. Colner takes the snap. He's going to dump it off to the left side as he finds Sell, who gets dragged out of bounds. And they say that he was able to get out of bounds in time, so the clock will not run here. 8 seconds left to play for the Greyhounds.
Sell a better job that time getting to the sideline. Are they bringing out Obermeyer to kick a field goal?
And at the 27-yard line with 8 seconds, Kevin Wright does not want to risk it. It's a 44-yard attempt for Obermeyer.
This is not a gimme either.
He has a lawn of 47 this season, which came against Ben Davis last week. We'll see if he can put it through. Snap and hold are good. Obermeyer's kick is up, and it is no good. It's wide left, and Obermeyer is not able to extend the lead for the Greyhounds. So the Warriors will get the ball with 2.7 seconds. We'll likely just see them run the clock out here as they trail 35-7.
Might have to take that #1 kicker in the nation title from him. I'm just messing, though. He has been a great kicker for the Greyhounds. Strange to see him miss one.
A very rare miss from Matthew Obermeyer, as that is his first missed field goal of the season. So unfortunate for him, it came in this game. But he still has some chances to put more points on the board if the Greyhounds keep scoring and moving down the ball. But in the meantime, it will be Quillen and Warren Central with a 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 2.7 seconds.
I want to see him take a shot here.
Quillen is just going to hand it off to Dossett, who's going to be tackled down near the backfield by Will Massey and co. And that will be the end of the first half of action here live from Carmel Stadium as the Greyhounds lead 35-7.
So a great half there by the Greyhounds. But for the first half, I've been Brendan Melby here with Gavin Snyder. We are now going to hand it over to Connor McDonough and Simon Kahn shortly for the halftime report.
Welcome to this CHTV halftime show. I'm Simon Kahn. Alongside me is Connell McDonough, where the number 2 team in the state of Indiana, the Carmel Greyhounds, are leading the Warren Central Warriors 35-7.
Simon, you mentioned that scoreboard, and I think we're all a little shocked here at Greyhound Stadium. I do not think we expected this to be a blowout so far. But the thing is, Warren Central has looked good in parts of their game. Their offense has looked good. They've gotten drives together. They just have not been able to convert, and that's due to this Carmel defense. What do you have for us on them?
Yeah, Carmel defense has had many contributors so far this game. There's been lots of sacks, especially some sacks there in the backfield from Drew Jones. Meanwhile, Drake Kolner was able to get an interception for the second interception in the last 2 weeks. Carmel's defense looks like they are ready for sectionals.
Yeah, Carmel's defense preparing for sectionals, but with all these sacks, the quarterback has started limping off the field at times, so all these sacks are starting to add up. But I want to talk about Drake Kolner, getting a pick for the Greyhounds. He's been a huge part of why this Greyhounds team has been so successful this season and this game.
Yeah, Kolner has kind of been a do-it-all type of player. He got an interception this week, he got one last week, and he started returning kickoffs for the Greyhounds.
Moving from the other side of the ball, though, to the offense, this offense has done great, putting up 35 points, on track for 70 points. I don't think that will happen for this game, but this offense has looked well. They've moved well all season, and a big part of that has been their rushing attack.
Yeah, and they have not skipped a beat, even though Aiden Johnson has been out today. Josiah Gilmore has done a good job picking up the slack. He has 2 touchdowns on the day, and so does Pemberton.
Pemberton and Gilmore have looked good, but we talk about Pemberton. He's had a great game so far. He's been the #1 back for the Greyhounds all season, and I mean, he continues to do that, and I've seen no flaws from him so far this game.
Both backs have played extremely well. Meanwhile, it hasn't really been Kolner's best night, but he really hasn't had to do much.
Yeah, you mentioned this passing offense, and like you said, they have not had to do much, which is kind of a good thing for this Greyhounds offense. I think that's what they want, but I think once they start getting 2 sectionals and have to eventually most likely play Westfield, they're going to have to rely on that passing attack more, and I think we might see a little bit more of that in that second half so they can really start to refine it before sectionals.
They definitely do need to find it because their wide receiver 2 or 3, Dominic Shockley, has been ruled out for the season. So you saw some other players getting involved. Sophomore transfer from Franklin Central, Carson Clark, was able to get a big touchdown that put the Greyhounds up by plenty. So they have found an answer in Carson Clark. We'll see if he can keep contributing to this Greyhounds offense.
I mean, that just shows the depth of this Greyhound team. They've had great depth all season, and it just keeps showing as the season goes on, as the injuries start to add up. Big-time players are starting to show up. Carson Clark, even though he is a third-string wide receiver and just transferred here from North Central, he's still been a crucial part of this offense all season, and I mean, he's showing why in this game.
100%. Meanwhile, the Greyhounds have just had an absolute slaughtering, and this isn't the first time that we've really seen this out of the Greyhounds at home. So far, the Greyhounds had 4 running clocks in that 4th quarter and second half, and that's the most that they've ever had. We'll see if they can get a 5th one here tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep seeing on that, but like I mentioned earlier, these Warren Central Warriors, they look dangerous at times. What do you have for us on them?
Yeah, Warren has looked pretty dangerous, but they are without their starting running back, which has been really tough for them.
Yeah, they haven't been as successful on the ground as they would like, forcing them to go through the air, which kind of makes the game plan for this Greyhounds pretty obvious. As long as they can stop the air attack, they can win this game, and they've done a great job of that so far, which is why they've held these Warriors to 7 points.
Well, this has been your halftime show with Simon Kahn and Connell McDonough. After a short break, we'll send it to the second half with Gavin Snyder and Brendan Melby.
Dom Shockley, Anthony Kolner,
Jake Bellin,
Spencer Sell, Jaden Kirshner, Drew Pemberton,
Michael Ghosh,
Jaden,
me, Lil Drew right there,
Drew Pemberton, Dane Bathurst, Dane Bathurst.
I'll give it to Dane. Jaden. Big Baby. Big Jaden right there. Big Sevens.
Me. The Blanket, Monte. Jake Bellin.
I'll give it to Jake Bellin.
Jake Bellin.
Big Baby. Jaden K body count.
Carson Clark. Spencer Sell. K Clark.
Biggest jokester? Oh, Pat right there. Pat right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably Drew Pemberton. Hey, perfect timing. You see what I'm saying? Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I'm Brendan Melby alongside Gavin Snyder here for the second half of the Carmel Greyhounds versus the Warren Central Warriors. It has been a great game so far with the Greyhounds leading 35-7 at halftime as Spencer Sell walks over to our tent. He's having a solid game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Sell, we saw him make some clutch receptions earlier and make that contested catch, which almost turned into an interception during the first half for Jelani Reed, but it falls through his hands and right to Spencer Sell for a huge 4th down and 11 conversion that led to a Carmel Greyhound score.
So we have some time before the second half begins. In that time, let's go over some possibilities of the second half because the Greyhounds are leading 35-7. You mentioned the running clock. We talked about how we see backups come in a lot. Well, the Greyhounds are missing their typical backup quarterback, Jackson Treadway, who got hurt in the JV game. So this would bring the backup quarterbacks to either Finn Giles or Nico Kazmerzak. So it'd be interesting if we get to see one of them go in, if not both.
Yeah, and in the North Central game, we saw Kazmerzak come in as the primary third-string quarterback, but after he threw an interception in just a few snaps in that North Central game, the question is, was that enough to get Giles promoted over him in the depth chart? So we will see if, the second team comes in, who's going to be that quarterback for the Greyhounds. Right now, my money's on Kazmerzak, but Kevin Wright has shown throughout the year he can be completely unpredictable, so we're honestly not sure what to expect from the Greyhounds.
I don't know, Gavin. I mean, if you go to look at the JV games, yes, Nico gets more playing time than Giles, but Giles has only thrown one throw at the varsity level, and that was a completion as well. So 100% no flaws yet at the varsity level for Giles. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because there is still a whole half of football to play. But at this rate, the Greyhounds have been taking care of business and will continue to do so unless Warren Central makes some major adjustments.
And when we talk about the Carmel offense heading into this game, the leading rusher for the Greyhounds was Drew Pemberton, who had, prior to this game, 84 carries for 696 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. But he now has 9 rushing touchdowns after a dominant performance in that first half, picking up 2 rushing touchdowns for the Greyhounds.
Before, you would see Aiden Johnson get involved as well. As last game, he had 12 carries and 61 rushing yards. Now all those numbers are being transferred to Josiah Gilmore in this game tonight because he has made the step up and he also has 2 rushing touchdowns for the Greyhounds.
And Josiah Gilmore, like you said, we've seen him get some action this year, and one of the biggest takeaways for Gilmore has been when he gets in the game, he makes a big impact despite his little action. So not a lot of playing time for him, but when he's been in the game, he has made some big plays and scored several touchdowns. He's got at least 5 rushing touchdowns so far this season, and that number continues to grow as he's played very well this evening.
100% Gavin. I mean, the Greyhounds have been taking full control of this game tonight. So a lot to look forward to in the second half for the Greyhounds. But as it goes for Warren Central, they have a talented roster on paper. Their new coach, JT Whitaker, has led them to a 5-2 record so far this season. I'd like to see a little bit of adjustments, maybe making it a more competitive game than it looks to be so far.
And last week for Warren, their offense collapsed in the second half as they got outscored 35-6, and it's possible that their offense just had a bad first half and is finally going to wake up in this second half of action, as they were only able to put up 7 points, which came from a long receiving touchdown for Keyshawn Williams, the junior receiver for the Warriors. And we'll see if they can get more active here offensively in this second half.
So the Greyhounds will start the second half with the ball as Warren Central's kicking team is out there. Only their second kickoff of tonight, with only 1 scoring drive from their offense.
And Carson Clark is back to receive for the Greyhounds. We mentioned him earlier. He can be very explosive when he gets an open space.
So the kick is up and the second half is underway as that ball is muffed by the Greyhounds. And the Warriors will have the ball. So maybe a jinx by assuming that the Greyhounds will start with the ball, because the special teams gets it done themselves and able to retain possession in Greyhounds territory to start the half.
And I know some people say that special teams can sometimes make special plays, and they did that right there. And the surprise squib kick, the Greyhounds know that Ellery doesn't have a lot of power, and the muff leads to a Warren Central possession.
So Quillen runs out there with his offense as he hands this one off. Warren running to the right side, as that was Dossett, the ball carrier. Got a short gain there, tackled by that right sideline.
And yes, just some good defense from the Greyhounds, just preventing him from getting the outside edges. You have Caden Bauer over on that left side, just forcing him out of bounds and not allowing him to go anywhere.
So it was called for a 1-yard gain. This brings up 2nd and 9 for the Warriors as Quillen takes a snap, looks to throw, which he does up the middle, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by the Greyhounds, number 51, Will Massey.
And Will Massey fumbled the ball after the interception.
Wow. A lot going on in that play right there as Massey made an unbelievable grab, but then fumbled it as he was getting tackled. So the final result of that play is a loss of 20 yards for Warren, but now they get a first down.
And what an unfortunate turn of events. Will Massey with his first pick of the season, and he's usually known as just being the secure tackler for the Greyhound. Very consistent tackler, but maybe got a bit too excited on that interception and just forgot to hold on to the ball as he was getting tackled.
Clearly he's not too used to the ball being in his hands as he was unable to keep it controlled. But here's a quick throw up the middle. That ball is caught by Warren Central for a short gain of 4 yards.
And that was Caden Sturdivant, the sophomore receiver, with the reception. He's been getting active in this one.
We've seen the Warriors mainly be going between 4 wide receivers as there is a flag. Neutral zone infraction on Dane Bathurst again. That is the second time that he has jumped.
And I'm not really sure what Dane Bathurst was doing there. Thought he was Ray Lewis or something trying to jump the snap count and just was not able to do it on that play, and it gives the Warriors an easy 5 yards to set up a 2nd and 1.
A couple silly mistakes by Bathurst. He's usually better than that, but in the meantime, he is going to run to the sideline and be replaced by James Milton. So they take the snap, hand it off to Dossett. Dossett trying to find some room to run as he gets a few yards after contact and able to get the first down.
And for Warren, they're driving. You know, they only got 7 points in the first half, and they trail 35-7 with 10:35. But Dossett has proven to be very strong in the run game. He's a power back for them, and we've seen him break multiple tackles on these runs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep trying to get the ball to him.
Bathurst quickly back out there. Sometimes all you need is a stern talking to by the coach as he fires in there trying to force a quarterback pressure, which he does, and then it's intercepted by Drake Koner. First it was a pressure by Bathurst, forcing Quillen to make a dangerous throw, and Koner gets his 2nd interception of the night.
And have yourself a day. Drake Koner in the Ben Davis game, he had 2 touchdowns taken away from him from penalties. He had a pick 6 and a punt return touchdown that both were called off due to Carmel penalties. And he gets his revenge this game by getting 2 big interceptions against the Warriors that stopped drives that had a chance for points. And now the Greyhounds in very good position with the ball at their own 16-yard line.
10 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in this third quarter as they hand this ball off to Pemberton, who runs up the middle.
Not too big of a gain there for Pemberton, but he just chips away at this defense and wears them down over time.
Great point, Gavin. Even when he doesn't get the big runs, it is still effective as they try to pitch it this time to Pemberton, who works down the right sideline and is taking down out of bounds. But they give him the first down, so good run there by Pemberton.
And he is just super consistent. This guy, Pemberton, that is, averages over 5 yards a carry consistently in these games, and he just gashes the defense. And there's an offside penalty on Warren Central.
Koner, that is the 3rd time he has gotten the Warriors to jump on his hard count.
Yeah, and they've really got to have a talk with one of their players, because that is at least the 2nd time tonight that we have seen Austin Jackson jump offsides for the Warriors. So he's got to lock in on these snap counts and make sure he doesn't jump early.
Gilmore in the backfield as Koner uses his hard count a couple times again. Warriors more discipline on that one as Koner looks to his sideline, tries to figure out the play as some players on the offense is moving around. So Koner takes the snap, fakes a handoff to Gilmore. He looks to throw, which he does to Bellin on the sideline, who tries to make a toe tap grab. The throw is incomplete with the intended target being Bellin. Bellin is frustrated. This is the worst game I have seen Jake Bellin have throughout this entire season, as he is jawing to the ref after that incomplete.
And it's not like Bellin isn't getting looks out there. It's just Anthony Koner keeps getting pressured, and he just doesn't have a lot of time to get the ball out, which is forcing more inaccurate passes than we usually see out of him.
Gilmore stays out there in the backfield to Koner's right hip as Bellin is on the right side again. Fakes the handoff to Gilmore, throws it to Bellin, who bobbles the ball and drops it, which was almost intercepted by the Warriors. Jake Bellin is struggling.
Yeah, and man, we know that he has his thumb a little taped up, and I'm not sure if that's impacting his catching, but Caleb Elkins almost had the pick there for the Warriors.
Whether it's the hand or his head being in the right spot mentally, Bellin does not look in the right space right now. So Koechel takes the snap. He's looking to throw once again. That time short up to Gilmore. Gilmore finds some room to run and able to get the first down past the 40-yard line.
And that's going to be enough for the Greyhounds to pick up a first down. And a lot of people say that screen plays aren't good on third down, but it works out that time for the Greyhounds.
The Greyhounds moving quickly with a new set of downs as they hand this ball off. Pemberton, the ball carrier, taken down for a gain of 1 yard.
The Greyhounds are really burning clock on this drive. There's 9 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the third quarter as they still lead 35-7 with the ball on their own 42.
Koechel in shotgun formation as he takes a snap, hands it off to Pemberton once again, who is taken down by a crowd of people. Taken down around the 45-yard line. This will bring up another third down for the Greyhounds, 3rd and 6 this time.
And if I'm the Greyhounds, I'm thinking maybe you try to get a slant route to Carson Clark here over the middle.
So corner, hard count. Has some movement there, but doesn't get anyone to completely jump off sides. So Koechel gets his offense set as he takes a snap, hands it off once again on 3rd and 6, short of the first down. So we'll see if they want to go for it on 4th down, because an interesting decision there to run it with 6 yards to go.
Kevin Wright is definitely going for this, and he wants his team to the line quick here.
Koechel takes the snap, pitches it to Pemberton, who runs up the left side and is taken down out of bounds past the first down marker. Whether it's a tie game or the Greyhounds are up 50, you will see Coach Wright never lay off the gas as they are able to complete the 4th down.
And yeah, I mean, Drew Pemberton, he is just so consistent for the Greyhounds in those short yardage situations because he's so elusive. He can just bounce to that outside and use his speed to pick up those first downs.
As it's Gilmore in for Pemberton and Broadnox in for Bellin, who takes a moment on the sideline as this ball's handed off to Gilmore, who tries to run up the middle, but a strong tackle there by Sean Fox.
Yeah, and Sean Fox has been really quiet in this one, but we know he's very capable with those D1 offers he has, so finally makes a play there to set up 2nd and 9.
I believe that is his 2nd tackle tonight, so starting to get involved a little more as the Warriors not subtle at all with that one as they jump once again and push Cade Clark, the center, on the floor.
Yeah, and James Curry, the sophomore, clearly needs a bit more discipline there, and that's another offsides penalty from Warren Central. Just the hard count has destroyed them mentally all game long, and Koechel has not backed away from it at all.
So the Greyhounds will move up 5 yards after that penalty, giving them 2nd and 4.
A bit of a heavy set here for the Greyhounds. Looks like they might be trying to run it again.
As they use Gilmore in the backfield once again, the junior running back, which they do, run it up the middle as Gilmore loves to do and able to get the first down and more. A good run there by Josiah Gilmore.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter who's in the game for the Greyhounds because Gilmore and Pemberton, it looks like this is actually coming back for a holding, so I'll hold my thought for now about that. But, I mean, both running backs for the Greyhounds have done a great job running the ball up the middle.
Gilmore, that's his 2nd big run that has been taken back for a holding penalty. So obviously that will help out his runs if a defender is being held back, but that's a couple unfortunate runs for Gilmore. So it's now 2nd and 13 for the Greyhounds as he's Koechel back there with Josiah Gilmore. Hands it off to Gilmore, who is taken down at the line of scrimmage by multiple Warriors, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, and this could be a holding on the Greyhounds, which would be detrimental and could set them up at a 2nd and 23. but the refs are currently discussing at midfield, and we will see what they rule.
A long drive so far for the Greyhounds, as it is a face mask on the defense. So the Greyhounds break here. This will certainly help out their drive. So we'll see where they mark him.
He should have the first down by 2 yards.
Wow, that is a big penalty. I believe a 15-yard penalty. So the Greyhounds will get a first down and be marked down at the 33-yard line.
And that might have been a bit more than 15 yards. It looked to me like they moved it maybe more about 20. But
regardless, a big penalty and a big mistake by Warren Central as corner goes out there, fakes a handoff to Gilmore this time and throws quickly up the right side to Carson Clark, who gets another big catch for the first down just shy of the end zone.
And Carson Clark, he had that 74-yard receiving touchdown earlier. We know when he gets an open space, he can be explosive, and a big play there to set up 1st and goal.
So the Greyhounds moving quickly as they love to do with Gilmore. 2 corners left hip. So corner takes the snap, fakes a handoff, looks to throw, which he does. Spencer Sell, the intended target, who is hit hard as the ball was there, and the throw is incomplete.
And that is some nice coverage from Jordan Adams for the Warriors. Their defensive coverage on these receivers have not been too bad this game, besides the Carson Clark touchdown. I mean, they've really done a good job of sticking with these Carmel receivers.
2nd and goal at the 9-yard line for the Greyhounds. Coners looking to his sideline, trying to get his offense set and trying to get a touchdown out of this play. Finally gets on the same page as his coaches and the sideline. So he sets his offense, Gilmore, to corner's right hip. As corner takes the snap, he's looking to throw, but he rolls out to the left side and takes it for himself, able to get the rushing touchdown. Anthony Corner, a good heads-up play, finding the gap and taking it for himself.
And Anthony Corner, he is a dual-threat quarterback. We know he has that running ability. We haven't seen it too much in this game, but right there he uses his legs to scramble in for the touchdown and pick up his 9th rushing touchdown of the season.
Greyhounds already having a great great second half, capitalizing on the great first half that they had earlier, because the kick is up and it is good. That time at the tippity top of the scoreboard to extend the Greyhounds lead 42-7.
Yeah, and I mean, this game is already out of hand for Warren Central, and you know, they say that games aren't over until the final whistle blows, but for the Warriors, they are in big trouble right now as they trail by 35 points with 7 minutes left in this quarter, and they've only got another 12 minutes to work within that 4th quarter. So not a lot of time, but a lot of points they have to make up for.
This game on pace to be another dominating win for the Greyhounds. And again, another terrific night as well. The temperature has dropped a little bit to 58 degrees. But regardless, that's a great fall night. That's some football weather right there. As the few fans that are out here are enjoying it. As I mentioned, both schools are on fall break. So few students on vacation, unable to make it to the game. Warren Central, on the other hand, they have a 17-day fall break. They've been on fall break since October 3rd and don't get back to school until October 20th. So a long break for their students, as they brought out a solid crowd of parents or maybe students on the wayside of the field. So Obermeyer kicking this one off, this time shy of the end zone, so the Warriors are going to try to return it as they are taking down at the 25-yard line, and some pushing and shoving after the whistle. I believe the refs just let it go, break it up, and both teams will run to the sideline.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Ghosh got shoved over for the Greyhounds there, and maybe a little bit after the whistle was blown, but refs didn't think the contact was incidental enough to draw a penalty flag there. So Warren won't move any further back than they already are, so they'll spot the ball close to the 25-yard line as they will start with a 1st and 10 with 6:20 left to play in the third quarter.
As the clock is running, Gavin, as the Greyhounds now have a 35-point lead in this game. As it's Quillen who takes a high snap, hands it off for a short run, tackled by multiple Greyhounds on that one.
And that was number 25.
Patrick Moses, the sophomore running back, the ball carrier on that one. That is his first carry of tonight.
And clearly the Warriors looking for a bit of speed out of that backfield. We know that Dissett is the power back, so trying to lean on somebody to get something going speed-wise out of that backfield to try to generate some big yards.
Quillen, another high snap that he hands off once again. A hard hit there by the Greyhounds, number 54. Drew Jones is having a strong night defensively with 2 sacks and a hard tackle right there.
Yeah, and Drew Jones has, honestly, this has been his breakout game. He had 2 sacks coming into this game, and he now has 4 sacks, which is only 1 behind Dane Bathurst. So as a junior, he's put together a very solid campaign this season.
So Quillen is out there with his running back, Dossett. He takes a snap, rolling out to the right side, trying to find someone to throw to. Forces it to throw it to the sideline.
Yeah,
as they're probably going to need to punt this one.
Yeah, and probably a good thing he threw it away there, because Tanner was very tightly covered by Kolner and Fedorcha there. So if he tries to force it to Tanner, it probably would have been another Greyhound interception. So probably lucky he actually threw that one away.
It would have been challenging to make a play in that situation, but when you're down 35 and you have a 3rd down, I'd expect they try to force anything. So the punt is up for Warren Central as Carson Clark, the returner, will fair catch it. Made it look a little dangerous there. But he's able to retain the ball that time, unlike the opening kickoff of the second half. The Greyhounds will start their drive at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and Carson Clark, we've seen him back at returner more than Jake Bell in this game, who is usually the Greyhounds' primary returner. So clearly something is up with Jake Bellin, which is going to be very important for the Greyhounds as they travel to Lawrence Central next week for their final game of the regular season, and they will need him for that game.
As this is Nico Kasperzak, who will be coming in as quarterback for the Greyhounds, and they hand this ball off to Maddox Knutson, who has a powerful run up the middle for 8 or 9 yards for his first carry of tonight. And so you win this one, Gavin, as Nico is the quarterback that is coming in for the Greyhounds. So Kasmerzak in shotgun with Knutson in the backfield. A lot of young wide receivers out there as well. Aleem Broadnox, Aiden Carpenter, Jack Yost, all sophomores and juniors. As Kasmerzak takes the snap, hands this one off to Knutson once again. He's able to get the first down, but there is a flag on the field, so we have to see what the call is.
Yeah, this is probably going to be another hold on the Greyhounds.
I believe you are correct. As they call a hold against the Greyhounds, so this run will be moved back as the clock continues to run with 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and this running clock is really making this game speed up, and that's been what the Greyhounds have wanted. They've won their last 15 home games under Kevin Wright, and with how this one's going, it looks like they will continue that streak, as this could be the 16th consecutive win at home for the Greyhounds, under Kevin Wright, that is.
Great job by the Greyhounds, but after that play, Gavin, offensive lineman Robert Cross limping to the sideline. He has been battling for the starting position with Jaden Kirshner, so it sucks to see him be a little limpish going off to the sideline. Kazmierzak takes the snap, pitches it to Knutson. Knutson running down the left side, and he's taken down past the 40-yard line. So far, all of their plays this drive has been to Knutson.
Yeah, and the Greyhounds have got a 3rd and short here, but with the running clock, they'll likely just hand this ball off, and it could be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Kaz, a couple hard counts. So far, not as successful as Koechel on those. So some Greyhounds moving around the line of scrimmage before the snap as Kaz takes the snap and hands it off to Knutson, who powers his way for the first down on the 3rd and 3.
And man, it really has not mattered who's running the ball for the Greyhounds, whether it's Maddox, Knudsen, Josiah Gilmore, or Andrew Pemberton. They're all consistently picking up first downs as the Greyhound offense headed towards the sideline as this 3rd quarter is about to come to a close. The Greyhounds still lead 42-7, and they will have the ball on the 48-yard line with the 1st and 10 upcoming for the 4th quarter.
I want to mention as well, because I'm not sure if we have gone deeply into the severity of Aiden Johnson's injury. He should be back next week versus Lawrence North, so this just shows how hard it is going to be how hard it's going to be to stop a healthy Greyhounds team, because we're seeing the 4th string, Maddox Knutson, have a good drive so far. So just imagine when you get Aiden Johnson, who has been a great running back for the Greyhounds, when you get a guy like him back, it just makes it so much harder to stop the offense.
Yeah, and Aiden Johnson is really the only true power back besides maybe Maddox Knudsen for the Carmel Greyhounds. A lot of the guys are just these elusive running backs who can get out into open space and use their speed to beat defenders. But with Aiden Johnson, I mean, he just runs through guys and puts them on the ground. And no one else on the Greyhounds really can do that besides him. But even if he is not able to return next week, Josiah Gilmore has proven in this game that he can be a very reliable 3rd option behind Drew Pemberton.
100%, because I love how different the running backs are as well, because it makes it tough when you get those different kind of guys coming in full of energy, playing to their kind of game. But it's Maddox Knutson staying in the backfield as Nico Kazmierzak. Couple hard counts as he looks to the sideline, awaiting the first play of the 4th quarter. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff this time to Knutson, and tries to throw it up the middle on the short slant to Aiden Carpenter. That time it's incomplete.
And when we look at, the second team being in for the Greyhounds, it really is a lot of these guys being the future of the team. And Aiden Carpenter is one of them. Only a freshman, but he's already getting varsity action.
Kazmierzak typically likes to float those ones in there. I'd like to see him put a little more zip on it, making it tougher to defend and possibly getting a few more receptions, because in the few reps that he's gotten at the varsity level, he's yet to have a big drive. So Kaz takes the snap, hands it off to Knutson here, who is taken down in the backfield by Sean Fox, who is doing much better in this second half.
Yeah, he picks up a nice TFL there, and really just the left side of the Greyhound offensive line with some poor blocking, which just leads to Fox being able to get to the ball carrier quickly and wrap him up for that TFL.
Same player staying out there for the Greyhounds, as it is Yost and Brodnux on the right side, Carpenter on the left, Kazmerzak and Knutson in the backfield. So 5 seconds left on the play clock. Kaz is going to need to get the snap off, which he does. Fakes a handoff to Knutson as he takes a shot downfield. Carpenter was out of bounds, so if he was able to make the catch, it wouldn't have counted, but he wasn't very close.
There is a flag down, and it may be pass interference on the Warriors.
I'd assume so, because I was not watching to how Carpenter got so far out of bounds, but there had to be something going on between his matchup.
The refs here discussing at midfield to see what exactly the ruling on the field will be. And the ref making a motion for pass interference on Warren as he's talking with his co-official, and we will see what the call is here.
Calls it a holding on the defense because it was before the throw, but that was Carpenter that time who was getting held trying to run his route. So this helps out the Greyhounds as they will move up to the 44-yard line, the Warriors' 44-yard line, and will bring up a fresh set of downs. Or no, I'm sorry. This will bring up third down still. So they hand it off to Knutson, who is taken down. Will they call him for the first down? I believe they call him just shy of the first down. I apologize, that was not a fresh set of downs. It was third down, so now it brings up fourth down, 4th and 1, but the Greyhounds are going to go for it as Kaz, a QB sneak and pushed forward by his guys for the first down, but there is a flag on the field. So we're going to have to wait to see what this flag will be.
And so unfortunate for the Greyhounds, they are able to pick up the first down on the QB sneak, and there is an injured player down on the field, unfortunately, for the Warriors.
You hate to see a player go down, especially late in the game, because this game the clock continues to run and it's most likely over. Just some more reps for the younger guys and the backups, but we have an injury, as you mentioned, Gavin.
Yeah, and when you look at this upcoming 4th and 1, maybe even 4th and inches, I expect I forgot about the holding penalty, so it's likely going to come back for a 10-yard. Wait a minute, they're moving the chains here, and it looks like they might have taken the penalty back and given the Greyhounds a first down here.
The refs and the coaches and the chain makers, not a lot has been on the same page, so we'll try to let you know what the call is once we are able to get it confirmed. But as you said, Gavin, they're holding up 1 for the down marker, and the chains have the line of scrimmage at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and maybe the officials are on their fall break too. A lot of these officials are also teachers at some of these high schools, so they get a lot of time. Sure. And fortunately, the player for Warren is able to walk off the field with some help, and it's somewhat of a key player for them as he's seen a lot of action out there tonight, as it's James Curry, the sophomore, who's able to walk off the field with some help.
Hopefully he's doing all right, but it appears offensive lineman number 74, Nathan Mills, will now be put in for the offense as their players were cheering them on as they went out there. We now have number 77, Jackson Flatt, who is getting applauded as he goes to the huddle, the sophomore offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Big boy, 6'5", 210 pounds. If he stays consistent with his work, he could be a good player for this team in the future. So Kazmerzak once again is back there with Knutson, as it is a first down, 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. 8 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter as Kasperzak takes a snap and hands it off to Knutson, who is taken down hardly by the Warriors.
Yeah,
a loss of 2 on that one.
And it kind of looks like it's the same guy who's been jumping off sides a lot for them, so maybe he finally guessed the snap count correctly.
That was Austin Light, the junior, with the tackle on that one. Greyhound signaling to the sideline as they get the play and hand it off to Knutson. Nowhere to run once again. His O-line not doing the best job blocking for him on those last 2 runs.
And I'm a little surprised it's taken Warren this long to figure out that Carmel primarily runs the ball. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're running the ball, and they're not going to try to force their backups to attempt a lot of passes. But on 3rd and 12, I think you might as well let Kasperzak take a shot through the air.
I think he's going to have to with a 3rd and long, 3rd and 12. So once again, he's looking to the sideline, figuring out the play. But I'd love to see him take a shot downfield at one of his wide receivers. 2 seconds on the play clock. Forces them to take a timeout as a miscommunication between the coaches and the players there.
It's also possible they were just trying to waste as much time on the clock as they could, but with a running clock, I mean, what's really the point with that? So you're likely correct there that it's just a miscommunication between Kasperzak and Wright not quite getting a play ready in time there, and there is 6:56 left to play in this fourth quarter. Greyhounds still lead 42-7 as it's been a very uneventful second half of action.
The Greyhounds only 1 touchdown in the second half. Warren Central has been held to 0 points, so we've seen a lot of longer drives, a lot of less big plays that we were seeing earlier. So I agree with you, Gavin. I'm ready to see Nico take a shot downfield, get something going. Let's get some more exciting plays going for the Greyhounds offense, as it appears there will be a new running back out there for the Greyhounds, number 43, Brody Jack, the junior running back. Kasperzak takes a snap. He's looking to throw, and he takes a shot deep downfield. It's Carpenter who is unable to make the grab, but there will be a pass interference called against Jelani Reed, who was in there early.
Yeah, and that is just a mistake. I mean, that pass was already going towards the sideline, so low chance that Carpenter is able to catch that in bounds in the first place, and Woods trying to break it up with a bit too much contact, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty for the Greyhounds.
So this should give the Greyhounds a first down, which it is. So the Greyhounds moving closer towards the end zone after that penalty.
And the Greyhounds are really driving this drive. I mean, it's really good to see, some of these guys on the second and third units get some action and have success against Warren's primary defensive set.
Knutson is back out there in the backfield for the Greyhounds. You see he has the a knee brace on his left knee. That is the knee that he tore his ACL last year, so it's great to see him making a recovery and getting some reps in this game. Kasperzak takes the snap, hands it off to Knutson. Once again, not a lot of places to run as there is another flag on the play.
Yeah, and another holding penalty for the Greyhounds, and there's clearly a difference between the starters and, the other units, because the starters have been much more disciplined in run blocking in this one. You can see the backups just a little sloppy on their technique, which is leading to these holding penalties.
It's good that these young O-linemen are getting the reps, because this is the future of the Greyhounds, but clearly some work to do, which they will work on in the offseason and in their JV games, but I'm just hoping they're able to finish this game and end the final home game on a high note.
Clock is still ticking here. Greyhounds taking the full. This is interesting. There's actually a stoppage of play, but the clock continues to run here. And if I'm the Greyhounds, I mean, it's chew clock mode right now. They're just going to try to run this thing out on this drive as well.
Kazmierzak deep in shotgun as he creeps up towards the center. The ball is down at the 36. He's standing on the 41 as he hands his ball off to Knutson, who tries to find a small gap up the middle and gets taken down at the 31-yard line.
We've got under 4 minutes left to play in this one. The Greyhounds still lead 42-7, and it will be 2nd and 15 at the 31 for Carmel.
So Kazmierzak on 2nd and 15. Looks to the sideline before the snap, which we've seen him do almost every play so far in this drive. Warren Central's defense trying to figure out where they want to be as well. So the D-line's moving around a little bit. So Kazmierzak takes a snap, fakes the handoff this time. He's going to keep it and try to run to the left side, but a strong tackle there by Warren Central. Number 40, Kamani Stevens, is not having it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be angry too if the third-string quarterback tries to stiff arm me. I'm going to make sure I bring him down, and that's exactly what was going through his mind on that play. He brings Kazmierzak down for a 3-yard loss to set up 3rd and 18.
Stevens not a fan of that play and broke it up. So this brings up a 3rd down, 3rd and 18 for the Greyhounds. What are they going to do on this one, Gavin? With only 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. We're going to have to wait and see as they hand it off to Knutson, who's able to have some room to run up the middle and get the... Is he able to get the first down?
Unfortunately, due to all the penalties, he's not really close. Oh, wait a minute. They say he had enough.
Wow. 3rd and 18. Knutson runs it up the middle and gets the first down. A great job there by Knutson.
And I mean, what a run from him. There's almost 2 minutes left in this one. So realistically, the Greyhounds, it actually looks like they're lined up to take some QB kneels potentially here.
So no 2-minute warning in this game as the Greyhounds line up in victory formation. Kazmierzak takes a kneel. It's gonna be a couple more of those before the game clock finally runs out. But an unbelievable game for the Greyhounds as the stands are starting to clear out.
Yeah, and I mean, the second half was kind of boring, to be honest. You know, the offensive firepower we saw from the Greyhounds really slowed down, and they didn't need to have offensive firepower. You already had the giant lead, and they just had to control the game and run out the clock, and that's exactly what they've done to get their 7th victory on the season.
I always love to see the young guys go out there, so yes, a lot less big plays that happened, but I'm glad that the backups were able to get a few more reps than they are able to in a particular game. But in the short time that we have remaining, Gavin, this was the Greyhounds' final home game of the regular season, and then they have Lawrence North at Lawrence North. And then after that, it's sectionals. Their sectional group is Zionsville, Harrison, and Westfield. So I am excited for that Westfield game if we're able to get that. But until then, the Greyhounds get their 7th win of the season. Carmel 42, Warren Central 7. The Greyhounds took their final knee, and the game clock will run out. I've been Brendan Melby alongside Gavin Snyder here for the Carmel Greyhounds' final home game of the regular season. This will also wrap up the CHTV broadcasts for the football game. So I've had a wonderful time calling all the home football games for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I've been Brendan Melby alongside Gavin Snyder. We're now going to pass it over to Simon Kahn and Connor McDonough for the post-game show.
Welcome to this CHTV post-game show. I'm Simon Kahn. Alongside me is Carmel McDonough. We're the number 2 team in the state of Indiana. The Carmel Greyhounds pounced on the Warren Central Warriors by a score of 42-7.
The last time you guys saw us, score was 35-7, and it only changed by 7 points, 42-7. I mean, the Greyhounds going into that second half, they put in their JV squad, they put in their backups, but still, they only put up 7 points, which means they got to clean some stuff up, especially with sectionals right around the corner.
Yeah, that sectionals group will be revealed on Sunday, those matchups. In Carmel's sectionals group is Carmel, Westfield, Harrison, and Zionsville.
Yeah, I know Brendan Melby has a little bit to talk about that if he wants to come join us.
I mean, I'm not going to say a lot, folks, but as they mentioned, I think the Greyhounds might have a chance to win the state championship this year and build the Coach Kevin Wright statue ASAP. But I'll let you boys finish your show. This is a great Greyhounds team, though.
That being said, it is a really good Greyhounds team, and a vast majority of the team is seniors. Basically, the entire wide receiver core is seniors. The starting running back is a senior. The starting quarterback, the commit to Troy, Anthony Kolner, is a senior, and that's just the offense. So if Carmel wants to continue the success along other seasons, they're going to need people to step up. But more importantly, this is Carmel's season to lose.
Simon, you talk about the seniors on this team, but Carmel still has depth. They have juniors on this team that can step up. We saw it today in Josiah Gilmore. Obviously, we know about Treadway in past games. Unfortunately, has a hurt hand at the moment, but they still have depth on this team, so they're good to go for next year. But I do think that if Carmel wants to win, they got to win this year. They obviously still have to go through a tough schedule, most likely playing Westfield and probably eventually playing Brownsburg, the 1 and 3 team in the state. So they got to go through both those teams if they want to have a chance at state. But if they do, then they have a great chance to win. And I think if they beat Brownsburg, they will win the state.
Yeah, well, Brownsburg got another win tonight, but nonetheless, the Greyhounds need to make sure that they're focusing on themselves. Before sectionals, they need to turn their attention to next week and Lawrence North. You cannot get ahead of yourselves and take a costly loss at LN.
I think the last thing that Carmel needs to do to really be prepared for sectionals is focus on those small details. We talk about it all the time. It's just those small details. Drake Kolner had a great game today, focusing on those small details, getting him 2 picks on the day. And I mean, Carmel just needs more of that. The more turnovers this defense can get and the more attention to the small details that this team has will allow them to go further in the state playoffs.
Another small detail that's been really key for the Greyhounds so far this season has been penalties. Tonight, they did a good job cleaning up some of those penalties. Last week when they beat Ben Davis 43-0, it could have been more if they had cleaned up some of those penalties.
I mean, you talk about penalties. This offense did a great job to force penalties on this defense, whether it was a hard count or just forcing a pass interference on the defense. They did a great job winning their penalties and winning the yardage there.
Well, that will do it for this CHTV broadcast. Signing off for this season has been Simon Kahn and my co-host, Connell McDonough.
Thank you, guys.